what's the most important resource for the future of AI? It's not just smart code, it's raw power and an absolutely insane amount of money. We're about to unpack a deal so huge, so truly monumental, it could either build the next great tech empire or trigger the biggest collapse we've ever seen. You're not going to want to miss this. Okay, just let this staggering number sink in for a second. $300 billion. That's the immense price tag on a single project that OpenAI, the brilliant minds behind ChatGPT, are reportedly signing up for. Calling this a big deal doesn't even begin to cover it. We are talking about one of the riskiest corporate bets in modern history. So, what in the world does $300 billion actually get you? It buys you power, a truly staggering 4.5 gigawatt of it. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the heck is a gigawatt, and why should I care? Stick with me, because this is precisely where it gets crazy. Let's try to wrap our heads around that insane number. 4.5 gigawatt is more power than what two massive Hoover dams can crank out combined. It's enough juice to continuously light up more than 4 million homes right here in the US. That is the kind of raw energy we're talking about, just to power the next generation of artificial intelligence. This absolutely massive 5-year contract is slated to kick off around 2027, and it's all for one single, incredibly ambitious plan called Project Stargate. And no, that's not a sci-fi movie. This isn't about just renting a few computers. This is about building the very foundation of our future. So, what exactly is Project Stargate? Well, think of it like this. They're building these giant, sprawling digital fortresses all across America. To get AI to do all the cool stuff, write your emails, create incredible images, solve complex problems you and I can't. You need an unbelievable amount of constant raw computing power. Project Stargate is supposed to be that very fortress. But this entire mission is way bigger than just one single company's dream. They're working with major partners like SoftBank, and the goals here are truly huge. Sure, they want to lock down computing power, but they're also talking about firing up America's core industries again, creating brand new jobs right here at home, and making sure that the US stays number one in the intense global AI race. Okay, so that all sounds pretty great, right? But here's the real thing. Building this ambitious future costs serious money. A lot of money. And this is where the story shifts from an exciting project to an absolutely mind-blowing bet the entire company gamble. Just check out the wild math on this. It is truly wild. This year, OpenAI is expected to make somewhere around $13 billion in total revenue. Pretty good, right? Well, starting in 2027, this new deal means they have to pay Oracle a whopping $60 billion every single year. That's almost 6 times more than they're making right now. And here's the real kicker for them. They're making this huge promise while they're reportedly not even profitable yet. In fact, some recent reports say the company is bleeding substantial cash. So they're already losing money, but they're committing to spending hundreds of billions more. It's just completely audacious. And this isn't some short-term problem they're hoping to quickly fix. Their own leadership has apparently said they don't see the company turning a real profit until perhaps 2029, and that's the very best case scenario. They are betting absolutely everything on the idea that AI is going to grow so fast, so exponentially, that this immense cost will someday look like a bargain. So you gotta ask yourself, why? Why take a risk this monumentally huge? Well, the simple answer is they might feel like they absolutely have to. There's a massive shortage of computing power across the entire tech industry, and it's seriously holding them back. It's slowing down brilliant new ideas. This deal is their definitive all-in move to secure what they call vast oceans of GPUs, so they can control their own destiny. Now, every story has two clear sides, so let's flip the coin and look at who's on the receiving end of all this cash. For the established tech giant Oracle, this isn't a gamble. Oh no, this is like hitting the Powerball jackpot and then hitting it again the very next day. The moment the news of this deal hit, Wall Street went into an absolute frenzy. Oracle stock price exploded, jumping over an incredible 40% in a single day. That's their biggest leap in one day since way back in 1992. The entire market suddenly saw this old school tech company in a completely new and exciting light. And get this, that one single day stock surge made the company's co founder, Larry Ellison, over $100 billion richer personally in just 24 hours, all because he owns a big chunk of the company. It's just hard to even imagine that kind of insane money. This deal totally reshaped Oracle's entire future outlook. Let's look at something called RPO. It's a fancy term, but all it really means is guaranteed future money from deals they have already signed. It's their sales pipeline. Well, in just 3 short months, that pipeline more than tripled. It shot up from about $140 billion to over an astounding $450 billion. And if you want to know just how critically important this one deal is, here's the craziest stat of them all. The OpenAI contract made up almost 95% of all of Oracle's entire new business last quarter. One single massive deal. It instantly puts them squarely on the map to compete directly with giants like Amazon and Microsoft. But hold on a second. A deal this massive is never a sure thing. Oracle might be celebrating right now, but they are also taking on a mountain of risk themselves. Because when the stakes are this incredibly high, everyone has real skin in the game. It really is a classic two-sided coin. You've got OpenAI on one side, basically writing giant checks that they hope they can cash someday. And on the other side, you've got Oracle, who has to go deep into debt to build all these advanced data centers, all while depending on a single customer that isn't even profitable yet to pay the bills. And just to give you a clearer idea of Oracle's precarious situation, there's a way to measure how much debt a company has versus what it's worth. For a stable company like Microsoft, it's around a safe 30%. Pretty safe. For Oracle, it's already over a dangerous 400%. They are leveraged right to the absolute max to pull this off. So let's zoom out one last final time. This whole situation isn't just about two companies. What we're watching is the biggest move yet in a new global arms race. But this time, the battle isn't over land or weapons. It's a fierce battle for pure, raw digital power. And everybody's jumping in head first. All the big players you know and use every single day. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they're all throwing billions and billions of dollars at this pressing problem. In fact, all combined, they're probably going to spend around $300 billion this year alone on building new data centers. And this all points to one big overarching takeaway. The future of AI, the next big tech revolution, it's not going to be invented by a few clever people in a simple garage. Those days are long gone. The future will be built on these massive, powerful, and incredibly expensive computing resources. Having the very most power is now the entire name of the game. So it all comes down to this one giant looming question. Is this the brilliant move that will crown the new king of AI? Or is it a profoundly reckless bet that's inflating the biggest tech bubble we've ever seen? One that's just waiting to dramatically pop. I'd love to know what you personally think. So drop a comment down below. Hey, if you found this detailed breakdown interesting, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and click that little notification bell so you don't miss out on our next great explainer. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.